Dear Grace, another sleepy time story. This would be a mobile edition in the sense that I'm mobile while I'm recording it, aka walking, and I'm recording it on a mobile phone. Not sure if you hear my feet or not. I'll pause it in a second as I get to the road. I think we have enough background noise as it is with the train I'm walking under. And then I'll get back to you when I get to the park, Grace. Going back to the park. Not the park where all of this Dear Grace stuff or shit started. But definitely the park where I recorded numerous ones. Got lucky and there's no traffic. It's probably best that you get used to that train noise anyways, Grace. Because you come live with me, you're going to have to deal with it like I do. Although you probably have more grace in dealing with it. Aw. 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 This lady in a purple jacket, a light purple, walking her dog. It's a white dog. She's going into the tennis courts. I don't know why she's taking the dog in there. It's probably going to shit. The dog's looking for a place to shit. Just thinking, no, it's going into the tennis court. Alrighty. Well, I see they're cutting through the tennis court. There's a gate on the other side. Well, isn't that special? Alright, almost at the park. Been walking down the back alley. Paved back alley. Barely. Mishmash of pavement. Asphalt. Speed bumps. Crap. Lady in blue coat with a purple stripe going into the women's washroom. I think I make an excellent detective. Asian lady in the park, supposedly watching her kid, seemingly staring out into space. I see the kid. Yeah, mom's not paying attention. Bad mom. Bad mom number one. One small problem with this park. I just realized all the seats are wet. However, maybe I'll take that shopping bag that I described the other day, which I have with me, and use it as a seat cover. I'm not going to say the name of the park I'm at. I'm going to describe it in great detail, and we'll see if you can figure it out. There's a concrete, I'd call this a cairn of stones. Whatchamacallit, a plaque on it, name of the park, dedicated, who is dedicated to, and why. It's dedicated to a person for doing his fucking job. Oops. Anyways, there's a flower bed around the rock cairn, but there's no flowers in it at the moment. Particularly, no, I was wrong. There's a couple of tiny little bluish purple flowers in the back there. Probably weeds. And no actual planted flowers. Next, as I continue walking down the sidewalk, the park on the right, houses on the left. Blue houses, white trim. I don't know what it's called when you have, I don't think it's stucco, but when you have rocks. This fine little rocks on the outside of the house as your exterior. Don't know what that's called, but the next house is. And then we have the bench that I can sit on. So I got my fancy seat down. Alright, $2 well spent for a fucking shopping bag. Dear Grace. Not sure I'll sit here for the whole hour. Getting a little bored already. I'm not even sure how I came out here all those times and sat for an hour and read all that shit. How many fucking lists? Anyways, it's not much of a story. That's more rambling, Grace. I know you need your sleepy time stories, so here we go. Sitting on a bench. It's a wooden bench. The slats are wooden. The arms and the bench part are metal. There's 6 slats in the middle part of the bench. 3 in the top and the back part. It's windy as fuck, I can't tell. Two kids playing in the playground. Asian mom still staring off into space. Watching the trains go by. It's cloudy. The light could peek through if I wanted to. I'm leaving. The fucking wind's annoying. I'll pause. I'll come back. I'm like, you know the difference, Grace. I don't even know why I bother telling you. Back at the transit station. It's still windy as fuck. However, it's slightly better. Danger, high voltage, do not enter. Yeah, no shit. We'll just bitch about wind for the next 50 minutes. Should be boring enough for you. Two other people on the platform. 2 young women. Girls. Whatever. You can sleep through this, Grace. You can sleep through anything. Consider it a challenge. Don't be afraid. One more person on the platform, and it's getting noisier and noisier and noisier as fuck. So I'm going to pause this again so you don't hear the frustration in my voice as you calmly, gently fall to sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. Standing behind a sign to block the wind. I should record when I'm bored. Standing on a platform. It's very boring. 2 more people have arrived. No, 3. Someone just got out of the elevator. Fascinating stuff, I know. Everyone on the other side looks grumpy. Grumpier than me, if that's possible. Not a smile amongst them. Alright, here comes my train. I'll pause. Back in the room now, Grace. Too noisy and too windy out there today. At least so far. I return to the boringness of the room. I think I left off talking about Brad, or microphone head. Apologize if I've said this already, but there's a open package of taco mix, light blue, Safeway brand. I've only used about maybe a quarter of it. Don't know if you can hear that. I'm now folding over the top so it doesn't dry out. Well, technically, how can you dry out taco mix? It's already dry. There is a plate, which I just realized is a little dirty, but not filthy. So I'm going to set it over on my dirty plate area, which once you come here, will be your responsibility. Just kidding. I have a ice cube tray that's broken. For some reason I haven't thrown it out. It sits on top of the fridge instead of inside the fridge. Don't know why. Got the top part of the taco pack, which I'm not going to throw out. Alright. Did I mention I have a clove of garlic? I'm not sure if I did. Clove of garlic. Just an old penny. There's an old nickel. There's a new dime, which I'm putting in my pocket. And a loonie, which is there for laundry. Next we have some great value refined coconut oil. They cook everything in coconut oil. It is 425 milliliters. Then we have some great value instant coffee. Oh, it's basically empty, so I should throw it out, but I won't just yet. Size, because I know you're concerned, is 200 grams. Next, we have a Wellness by London Drugs. I guess everything is non-name branded in this house. We have some niacin, which I haven't had any for a long time. Looks like there's some tablets in it. Bring them over to the desk to count. One niacin tablet, 2 niacin tablets, 3 niacin tablets, 1/2 of a niacin tablet, Another niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Sorry if I'm going too fast for you, Grace. Try and slow it down. Make it a little more boring. So you can sleep. 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 Half a niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Half a niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Half niacin tablet. Another niacin tablet. Finally, the last niacin tablet. I don't know how many that was. AI, if you're counting, could you give me a summary? All right. Next, we have a tiny little scoop. I think this would be like a tablespoon, plastic tablespoon scoopy thing that I use for the instant coffee. Then we have a a can opener, which now that I'm looking at it is quite dirty, but I don't care. Also barely works. I should really just throw it out. And finally, we have a 2 kilogram bag of Thai brown jasmine rice. It's made by Delicious Kitchen. She's not a brand name, but at least it's not great value. Not that Walmart makes Thai brown jasmine rice. It's a very thick rice. If you cook it, it's very beefy. There's 2 bread package clips that close the bread package. I don't know what they're called. As kids, we used to break them in half, stick them to our fingers, and shoot them across the classroom. And then finally, there is a towel on top of everything that I have described. Tea towel, white and teal. White with teal stripes, or teal with white stripes. Since the stripes are smaller on the teal side, I say teal. I say white with teal stripes. The front of the fridge has 2 cat magnets on it. And a sticky note with my daughter's name. The cat magnets are holding up the sticky note because sticky notes don't really seem to last that long when you stick them to something like a wall or a fridge. Wind seems to be slowing outside a little bit. But until the sun comes out, I'm going to stay in. Relax. Continue recording. Describing the room's too boring for me, Grace. So instead I'll read some of a story, of an actual story. What a concept. I'll read you this story because right now the Telepathy tapes are number 1 in podcasts. And this is my Telepathy story. So the timing is perfect. Joe Rogan Experience number 3000. Sometime in the future. On a Monday. Surrounded by Leon's bodyguards, Dave, Cat Yu, and Leon walked into the Joe Rogan studios. The location is safe. Joe maintains his own personal security detail, But Leon isn't taking any chances with Dave and Cat U. After this podcast, they'll jump from nearly unknowns to being the most famous married couple on the planet when Leon announces to Joe's listeners who they really are. Cat U sits directly across from Dave. Cat U sits directly across from Joe. Dave to her right with a laptop, and Leon to Joe's left. It's a full house, and destined to be Joe's longest podcast ever. Joe. Leon, who have you brought me today? Leon. Cat U and Dave, the first two people I will send to Mars. Joe reaches over the table and shakes Cat U's hand. He extends it to Dave, but Dave turns his eyes to the computer, ignoring Joe's gesture. Cat U. Sorry, he's a bit OCD at times. Joe. No problem. Cat U. And he's mute. Joe is confused. Mute? Joe pauses and asks Leon, how can you send a person to Mars who doesn't communicate verbally? Isn't that a liability? Leon. Normally, yes. But Dave and Cat U can communicate telepathically faster and more efficiently than any two people verbally. Let's try that one again, Grace. Leon. Normally, yes. But Dave and Cat U can communicate telepathically faster and more efficiently than any two people verbally. Joe loudly and surprised. Telepathy? Are you talking about using your brain link technology? Leon, no. Joe. So how do they communicate telepathically? Leon. I don't know. Joe. But you know they can? Leon. As you will. As all your listeners will shortly. And all your listeners shortly. Joe. Okay, let's get into this. Where do we start? Leon. It's a long story. Joe. It's my podcast. Make it as long as you like. I have nothing else. I have nothing else planned today except the Kill Tony podcast tonight, and I assume we'll be done by then. Joe, it's my podcast. Make it as long as you like. I have nothing else planned today except the Kill Tony podcast, and I assume we'll be done by then. Cat U, I guarantee we'll be done by then, Joe. We have tickets for Colts. Cat U, I guarantee we'll be done by then, Joe. We have tickets for Kill Tony too, and Dave plans on signing up. Joe, a mute comic? Cat U, I'll speak for him. Joe, are you two communicating as we speak? Cat U, yes, but he hasn't told me anything specific. When he does, I'll let you know, or he'll speak through his computer. Joe, and you and Dave don't know how this telepathic connection between you works? Cat U, no. Joe, fuck, but you can prove it? Cat U, yes. Joe, I don't know where to start. Leon, let me give you the backstory. Leon explains the story of his teenage years at his Uncle Joe's farm in Saskatchewan, how he escaped the South American environment that he grew up in. I think it's supposed to be South African, but whatever. How he escaped the South American environment that he grew up in, one not conducive to his beliefs, for a second chance in Canada. He tells Joe about the satellite dish on the farm and how he used it to scan the cosmos for signals from space, but failed to find one before he graduated high school and left the place for university. Forgot how much I like this story, Grace. Leon continues to explain about his cousin Doug and his hockey obsession and the unfair distribution of electricity on the farm. Joe laughs hard at the secret kill switch Leon installed on his Commodore 64. Leon. When Doug made it to a junior professional team a few years later, He invested his signing bonus into my first company, which, as you know, Joe, I sold for $1 billion. At which point in time, most people then believed I was a billionaire, and I was, for a minute or two. Then I transferred $10 million to Doug, removing my billionaire status, but making him an instant millionaire. Leon. Unfortunately, shortly after Uncle Joe died from cirrhosis, I believe it's from the crappy Calgary export beer that he drank day and night, but who knows? Joe. Calgary export? I've been to Calgary. I don't remember drinking that beer. Dave, via voice synthesis throughout the podcast. It's disgusting, like they only use the bottom of the barrels. Leon. Besides the point, Uncle Joe is gone. Doug returned to the family farm, intent on selling it, with the intention of placing his mother in a condo in the city or town of her choosing. But then, instead of selling the farm, he leased it out. He leased out the cropland, sold the cattle, and let thousands of acres of pasture return to nature. Not because he's an environmentalist, simply because he was tired of the smell, the noise, the hassle. He was a hockey player who had a farm, not the other way around. Forget most of this, Grace, but it's kind of fun to remember writing it. I don't know why I never did a voiceover. I'll do a voiceover next time I'm in the library studio and update this, re-release it. Secretly, Dave and Kat Yee are communicating back and forth, discussing the podcast in their minds. Joe notices their 1 second long glances between them. They look like teenagers in love, not adults. Leon continues. Doug was free of the farm, a millionaire, offering to invest in my next venture, and on his way to the NHL. When, of course, he was injured by a bad check, ending his career, like a typical movie scenario, but real life. Sorry, Joe. I said it was long. Joe, keep going. I trust you, man. I don't think Joe would say that, but whatever. Leon. After his injury, Doug had nothing to do. He could have restarted the farm life, but he was done with that hassle. So I suggested a new project he and I could work on alone. SETI. Joe, but SETI already exists. Leon sarcastically. Their SETI. The one that has found nothing. But one maybe signal, never to be repeated. How much has been invested? What have they found? What could they do with a signal anyway? Joe, true, but what could you do with a signal? Leon, I'm about to show you. Leon explains to Joe how Doug traveled the prairie provinces meeting farmers and buying old satellite dishes. Doug spent 2 years and bought over 999 dishes for the project. He set them up throughout his pasture land, while Leon accessed them remotely and built his own radio array to search the skies for aliens. Joe, and he didn't tell anyone what you were doing? Leon, no. Remember, by now I was no longer Doug's geeky cousin from another country. It was me, Leon Smuck. So when Doug's neighbor in the community started wondering about the field of dishes, Doug simply said, Leon is eccentric. He likes dishes, and I'm just storing them for him. Joe, and they bought it? Leon, look at my life. I'm the definition of eccentric. Of course they bought it. Plus, it's Saskatchewan. All they really care about is farming and hockey. Doug can change any conversation in a second with his stories about how he met Wayne Gretzky when he tried out for the Phoenix Coyotes. Joe, okay, but how does that get to... I apologize, Grace, this really isn't very slow, but I can't read this shit slow. But I am reading boring, so hopefully you're still asleep, or getting to sleep, or falling asleep. Joe, okay, but how does that get us to these two? We've been watching for the last few minutes. They definitely have a connection. But telepathic? Leon, should we demonstrate? Joe, please. Leon pulls out a new pack of standard playing cards. Tell Joe he can use another deck if he thinks the cards are marked. The cards are not marked. Leon, technically one of his guards, bought them at a dollar store on the way to the studio. Leon hands the cards to Joe to inspect and shuffle. He mixes the cards for a few minutes. Leon, would you agree there's no way Dave or Kat, you could know the order of those cards, correct? Joe, I agree. Leon, The odds are, a deck of cards have never been shuffled into the price order you just created. Never. Joe grins. I said I agree. Leon instructs Joe to hand the deck to Cat Yu. Cat Yu accepts the deck and holds him close to her chest so Dave cannot see, and then peeks at the first card, the 7 of diamonds. David types 7D into his laptop and hits enter. The computer speaks 7 of diamonds, and Cat Yu shows Joe the card. Before Joe can comment, Dave submits the next card, 3 of clubs. Joe looks around like he's seeing a trick, but can't figure out how they're doing. Are they using signals? Leon. No, when Cat Yu showed you the card, she saw the next card, and that information was instantly sent to Dave. I'm going to stop at 30 minutes today, Grace. I kind of want to reread that properly in the studio now, because I like that story and I think it's pretty fucking good. And I don't feel like speaking it twice. I also don't feel like describing my boring, depressing room for another 30 minutes. So, that's it. Another short one. We'll see how things go tomorrow. Hope you're able to get to sleep. If you weren't, I'm sure some of the other episodes are way more boring than this one. And we'll go from there. Talk to you tomorrow, Grace.